Hey, hey, it's that time of the week. It is Mule and Donkey time. It is Steve Edwards time, and it is birthday time. Last week I mentioned that I was turning 40 over the weekend. Well, somebody's coming up right behind me. 37th birthday here today, August 3rd, 2022. The young one, Mr. Steve Edwards. How you doing today, birthday boy?
Yeah, boy, it's my dad that's 73. I'm 37, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
there's no way that you could be the same age as your dad. Absolutely none
No,
whatsoever.
no, no.
How has the day been so far?
Well, I was going to tell my wife, she says, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" I said, "I just want to take my 49 Mercury and I want to just work on it, just piddle around with it, put new gauges on and stuff, and I haven't touched it yet." I did have a rattlesnake encounter, so I'm number 11 for the year so far, and got him squared away. Got my trailer done. Susan and I are going to go fishing next week. Going to go up to the mountains and spend a few days, take the kayaks, and do a little trout fishing. Yeah.
That'll be great.
The
Awesome.
mountains right behind you there. That's the ones we're going to go to.
Yeah,
Yep.
check these ones
Yep.
out. Pretty good. Are you a birthday cake fan or are you like a pie fan, which is really just liquid cake?
Uh, Probably a liquid cake, right?
Liquid cake, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, there you go. Come along, coffee. David Pingelli, Coffee by David. I'll put a link in the comments section. Folks, thanks so much for coming here, spending a few minutes of your time with us today. My name is Dave, and like I said, this is Steve. Every week we get together to talk mules and donkeys. This week is no exception. The way this works, if you're first time watcher, is we really only ask three things. Number one, that you share where you're watching from, your name, where you're watching from, and what the weather is like. That gives us a chance to say hello. Uh, Love to hear from you. We've met so many just awesome people. Matter of fact, Steve's going to be in Montana meeting up with a lot of y'all. So if you have not get if you have not gotten details on the Montana clinic or have not signed up, I'll put a link in the comment section. You can check that out. He's also going to be in Tennessee. So Montana is going to be September Labor Day weekend. Then Tennessee will be end of September into October. So we've met so many great folks. Just put your name, where you're watching from, what the weather's like in the comment section. That way we can say hello to you. The second thing, you ask any and every mule or donkey question that you have. This program's guided by you. So whatever questions you've got, that's what we talk about. So if y'all don't have any questions, we don't have a whole lot to talk about. Matter of fact, we do have two things. So it's not a lot, but we do have two things today that we wanted to discuss, but we'll use your questions as well. And there's no dumb question whatsoever. There's only the question you didn't ask. So go ahead and get that question in there so that we can answer it. And then the third thing is that you share the broadcast. Now, if you're on YouTube, it's real easy. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then click the share button. Just those three things do a world of difference in helping YouTube recommend our videos to folks who are just watching garbage training out there. Horse trainers who maybe they know the difference, maybe they don't, but they folks are getting mule and donkey information from horse trainers, and we want to get the mule and donkey training in front of them so that they don't get frustrated, so that they don't spend weeks, months, years going down the wrong direction, causing all sorts of problems, but rather get the information in front of them ahead of time so that they can make a decision on what's going to work best for them in their training. If you're on Facebook, the way you do it is you click the like button, click the share button. You can tag a friend or family member in the comments section. So without any delay, we want to say hello to Sherman Johnson watching from Norman, Oklahoma, 100 degrees. Happy birthday, Steve. I just had one on the 1st of August. So me, Steve, we just need to find someone who's like August 2nd. And then we'll have me, Sherman, that person, and Steve. And we could all split, big, giant, massive cake. Bernadette is watching from New Hampshire. New Hampshire, all Bernadette has to say is hot. And so, yeah, I can resonate with that. Although we did get some rain here in Arizona. I look this way because that's where the window is. We did get some rain in Arizona today. Did it rain out there much last night and
Oh
this
yeah,
morning,
yeah.
Steve?
We had a good rain. Matter of fact, it clapped thunder quite a few times. One time, I thought the lightning hit right close to me where I was. I was on my way down to the to my trailer, and I've got it underneath the cabana there,
Uh-huh.
and the covered arena, and all of a sudden, crack, boy, it hit, and I could feel the ground shake. Woo!
Yeah, yeah, I heard a couple of those too. All I could think of was my 8-year-old who just gets very concerned about that stuff. I can just see his ears perking up in the middle of his class. He's like, what was that?
That's
So
my dog.
kids never
Yeah.
think about their parents, but parents are always thinking about their kids. Candy is watching. All Candy has to say is hot and humid. Uh, Burnett. Oh, I said Bernadette. I am so sorry. Bernetta. Bernetta. There we go. Bernetta. There we go. But close enough. So sorry, Bernetta. Glad to have you here. Let's just hop right into it. The first question that I've got for you today, this one comes from Tony. She sent this in as an email. Says, I need help in person with my mule. I bought the mule kit, but I cannot hold her from bolting, and there is no mule people here in Henderson, Nevada. Her mother kicked me when she was 2 months old, and I am a little damaged in the shoulder. Thanks, Tony. What would you have to say for Tony, Steve?
Oh my. Well, if she's getting away from you, then we got to look at our timing. It's our timing. It's one thing me being there and me working on it and getting her to comply in a matter of a few minutes, but it's the big thing is your timing. So go into a small area, a 20 by 20 corral or a 50-foot round pen, and start small. That's what you have to do. And there's something called a hip lock, to where they go to get away from you and you lock down and get the rope behind your hip and use your weight. But you should start like this. Okay, let's start easy. If the nose goes to the right, bump it. You see, the problem is most people, the feet are already gone. So let's look at where the start is. The start is as soon as the nose. If the nose goes, so goes the shoulder, so goes the feet, so goes bye-bye the mule. So fix it while it's small. Start small. Look at the nose. Stand there, looking straight ahead with the nose just off to your right. And when the mule looks another way, give it a bump. Bump. Wear gloves and practice on your timing. Start small.
Awesome. Very good. Thank you for the question, Tony. Next question. This one comes in from Brandy. Brandy says, I just purchased a 7-year-old Molly Mule. She is sweet, friendly, smart, high energy, and has zero training. Can you recommend your videos that will focus on the basic training need for a mule to be used for trail riding? This one's from Brandy.
Okay, so what we did there, Brandy, is you went from basics to finish work, and that's 50 years of work. So we can't get it in there. So where do I always say start? Start on the ground. Start on the ground. Matter of fact, I sent you an email there, Dave, from a lady who got a mule out of those one of those auctions. Said it was just a short ways from being the kill pin. Do you have that one?
Yes. Yes. Let me
So
bring
we'll
that.
start with ground communication. That's where you're going to start. Every one of you, listen, folks. You don't. You've got to understand. If you can't do it on the ground, why are you getting in a saddle? Because here's the thought: we think of, oh, we want to go drive and we want to get a doctor's buggy and go off into the sunset. That going off in the sunset could be a helicopter taking you to the ER. All right. So start from the ground. If the nose, always think straight. The mule is not allowed to look to the left, to the right, overhead, nothing like that. Okay. Don't go feeding treats. I've got a friend of mine already, one of my clients, that was sitting in his chair and was given different treats and getting to know the mule. And guess what? The mule bit the chair. He's lucky it didn't bite him. But let's go on. Groundwork, groundwork, groundwork. This is not a dog. Don't give treats. Don't expect them to sit and roll over, so to speak. You have to be the herd leader, and you have to show them comfortable, uncomfortable. you have to show them ask, tell, demand. Understand that. That's what the lead of a herd leader does. Makes them comfortable, uncomfortable. How does she do it? Okay. When the new mule comes into the herd, first thing she does is she pins her ears. I'm telling you, don't come no closer. Second thing she does, if you keep on coming closer, she pins her ears and she swishes her tail. She asks you, now she told you, now she demands on you. Spin and kick. Boom. So you got to learn that language. Ask, tell, demand with your come along rope. Important. Second thing, comfortable, uncomfortable. All right. If they think I want to be comfortable, I want to see the monsters over there. Oh, is there boogers over here? What's Charlie doing back there? Don't do that. No, no, no. You dictate to them straight ahead only. Like I was just talking with the last person who said the mule got away from her in Henderson, Nevada. Yeah, start small. Go into the area where you're catching the mule and start small. Only straightness. And when you're walking with them, only think straight. When they're off to the right, they're off to your right and you can see them, teach them to look straight ahead. If they look to the right, bump, left, bump, and then start doing the foundational work that I show you in that video. And it'll work good. You got to expect trouble. It's going to be part of it, but you're also going to expect to have an awesome mule when you get done.
So I found the email. We just rescued a mule that was minutes away from having a bullet in her head because the barn staff was terrified of her. Using your tactics, she's now incredibly gentle, compliant, and loving. I can even ride her bareback with no bridle. And this is the untamed beast that the horse farm claimed was just mentally unstable and guaranteed to kill someone. It's encouraged us to learn even more and change the hearts and minds of equestrian folks on the East Coast. So that was from Charlena.
Yeah, so you hear that, folks? This is Charlena. She went to a kill pen, which I tell you all, don't do that, okay? But she did it, and she saved this mule, all right? So she put forth a lot of effort, and be prepared to get hurt, folks. There's a good possibility of getting hurt with this no matter what. But if you spend the time and get that come along rope out and learn how to use the come along rope, the riding will be a piece of cake. I don't care if it is trained. I don't care if you did go to an auction and buy the dog and pony show mule for $50,000. Okay, folks, listen, even if I spent $50,000 for that mule, I would still start from ground zero. Why is that? Because the mule don't know me. The mule doesn't see me as a herd leader. And you have to do that. I don't care if the mule is trained, okay? When people bring me a mule, I start from the ground and I go up. I don't start from the saddle and go down because it hurts.
All right. Let's hop back over to Facebook and YouTube and we'll say hello to Bernetta said that I got it perfectly. So there we go. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate that. Randy is watching from Mount Home, Arkansas, 92 degrees. We've got Tamar watching. Hello from Casino, New South Wales, Australia. Sunny, fresh morning
Tamar.
here. International.
We got to say hey, Tamar.
Tamar,
I said I was going to call you last week. I didn't have any news about your saddle, but your saddle now is on my way to the ranch. And when it gets here, I'm going to box everything up. Listen to this, Dave. She's in Australia. They wanted $1,500 almost in shipping fees. So I'm getting things wangled. I think I got a better deal for tomorrow.
That's awesome. Yeah, for all of our international folks, we do have international shipping on the website. Typically, it's really close to what the actual shipping cost is. You can message Steve directly, steve@muleranch.com, and occasionally Steve's able to find a better deal using that special mule language that he knows, find a better deal to get international shipping maybe a little bit more affordable. So what you see on the website, it's within about 2-3% of what it actually costs to ship. So we don't upcharge or anything like other folks may do. It's what our actual costs are. But when it comes to international shipping, occasionally we're able to contact some of these carriers directly and get a better deal. So international friends, Don't ever hesitate to reach out if you need us. Let's see here. Miss Backwoods, hello, Northern Maine, 75 right now. Our 16-month Molly Mule came in today. She is so sweet. Unfortunately, she already went through the electric fence. How long can they go without a companion animal? Steve, what would you say here to Miss Backwoods?
Okay, they don't need companions, folks. You have to be the herd leader. I know folks that have bought a goat or a Shetland pony, and now they can't go anywhere without that goat or Shetland pony, let alone another mule. Okay, you be the herd leader. Electric fence, forget it. They'll go right through that. That's simple. Build a good corral, put them in a 20 by 20 stall, and start doing your training. 50-foot round pen if you really need to, but round pen's not all that important. But at least a 20 by 20 stall where you can go to work.
Awesome. Let's see. Bobby or Carol is watching from St. James, Missouri, humid and rainy. Bernetta is welcoming Mary Ellen Bannister. Here they are. Here we are. Good to have you here, Mary Ellen and Bernetta. Let's see here. Barbara is watching. Hi from stormy Missouri. Our chicken coop just flew away. Oh my goodness. Catch it. Catch it. That's where you need to have those hops in so you can jump up and pull it back down. I hope everyone's okay. Barbara says, I was wondering how you teach the mules to turn on the forehand and hind feet.
Well, watch the video there first of doing your groundwork. And then remember where your legs are. Remember where your legs are. So here's your riding leg right here. All right. When you push on that leg on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, then you need to take your right-hand leg away so it gives them a space to go. When you take, and that makes side passing. When you put your leg back here, that is turn on the forehand. Where the front end stays in place, this pressure is on the back part, and it moves the ribs around. Now, this is where your leg is. Put your leg up in the front. Again, you're within 12 inches each time. Actually, 8 to 10 inches each time from your leg. So here's your leg. Here's your center leg. You push right here, and you go turn on the hindquarters. You push right here, you turn on the forehand. So you do it from the ground. You take your come along rope and you put your hand on that place and you ask with your hand open. If that don't work, you tell with the side of your hand, pointed with your finger, bump, 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 and you slap them for a demand. Ask, tell, demand. And they'll eventually get it. But you have to learn now, folks, it's important that where your hand is where your leg is going to be. So don't put your hand too high or too low or too far back. You've got less than 2.5 feet to move your legs back and forth. 6 to 8 inches probably on an average.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that question there. Next question is, let's see. Well, Dave O'Brien is watching, East Texas, 102 and very dry. Myra says, happy birthday, Steve. Wishing you many more good years. We're having the usual dry, hot summer weather here in California. Feeling grateful for every day and the joy of every small improvement with my mule Soji. The more I learn, the more I find your information helpful. Love hearing that, Myra. Thank you so much. Tamara is watching from Tubic, Arizona. Got my come-along rope yesterday. The mule gets here on Friday. Looking forward to this new adventure. We're so glad to hear that, Tamara. Tamara or Tamara? Let me know which way it is so I can get it right. Next question we've got here. This one comes from James. It's a little bit longer, but it's a good one, Steve. James says, I have just turned 4-year-old Mini Mule. When I got him, he had been a pet, did ever what you wanted him for 2 years. Not mean. At his new home with us, he's scared of everything and enjoyed it. He would break away from us and run. That is the better for the most part, but he is still fearful at times, seems to enjoy being fearful. Last year, age 3, late summer, I finally drove him for a couple of months before cold weather. He was great. All the long line ground driving commands stuck well. He finally accepted the cart. This year, he was not too sure about the harness. Like I said, he seems to enjoy being fearful at times. He worked through that at a slow pace. Then, with the cart flipped out, reared leg over the shaft, bent the cart. Now I have him tied up to the hitch rail, harnessed and cart attached. I shake and bounce the cart. He seems okay with that. I suspect he is not at the hitch rail. There is a good chance he will get scared again. We had to tie him. Let's see. So he not break away. Now those things are good. He saw the older horse with a water horse bath, and now he is good with being hose sprayed. If he could be with an older driving animal, I think he might accept the cart and driving again, but I don't have that option. If I skip one day, he backslides. He only comes when he wants to. He's real sweet when he wants to. I wanted a standard size, but a couple bad decisions, this is all I have. I don't know if I can ever trust him. Am I expecting too much? Will he change? Or is this just Mini Mule gelding behavior? What would you have to say here for James?
Well, folks, again, when you get a mule, disposition, we used to have this kind of disposition all the time. And I always thought it was just part of being a mule, figured you had to ride them every day. You had to train on them every day. And then you leave them go a few days and they go back to where they were. Well, number one, it was their disposition. I don't want to get along with anybody type disposition. Number two, I didn't have a good foundation. So when I started learning about foundation and sticking with it. Now, the third part is this. When you have a mule that wigs out like that, what are you feeding him? What does your feeding program look like? Really, really, really important. What does your feeding program look like? Because when you feed too much carbohydrates, he will act like a crack cocaine addict going bonkers. So here today, gone tomorrow. So you might want to think about that. Yes, you're right about the pony disposition. Everybody thinks they're a cute little horse, but they can sure be a booger. But let's go back to disposition. They're born with this disposition, folks. You cannot train disposition into these mules and horses or donkeys.
Yep. Something we talk about, disposition first, conformation second, and training third.
Training third.
There you go. And then everything else kind of doesn't really matter. It's your preference, but disposition first. Good disposition all day long trumps just about anything else you can throw at Steve. He'll pick that disposition. Oh, hey, 45. All right, let's see here. Steve, let's talk about some fat pockets. What do you say?
Yeah, I got one right here.
Oh, sorry, not those. Not those.
Not
those. These right here.
Oh, yes. When I talk about fat pockets, folks, now you can see what fat pockets look like. This little donkey, one of my clients sent me this picture. This donkey, this mule, it's a mini mule actually, is supposed to be 53 years old. Now, look at the fat pockets. I tell you about the scapula. Look in the front there. You can see the scapula. You see the little black spot? That's about the scapula. And then right in behind that, you see that other little black spot? That is the fat pocket I keep telling you all about. And this, of course, is over-exaggerated. When you see these fat pockets, when you see dry spots, it's on these fat pockets. Why does this little guy like this? Because he's been fed the wrong feed. Put out in the pasture. Yeah, that's called grass founder. Yes, he's grass founder. Really bad. And your mule can end up that way. Your donkey can end up that way if you're not careful. You see those fat pockets? They get it from daddy, the donkey. You can't even see the tail with the fat pocket around the rump.
Yeah, so like, what do you do in this situation where you've got an animal that has foundered that bad?
There's nothing you can do, Dave. I mean, of course, he's already 53 years old. That's the oldest I've ever heard any animal be. How they'd be able to tell that, I don't know, but maybe they know the history behind it, but nothing you can do. I mean, he's basically a lawn ornament, I don't know how he's got any teeth, because usually by the time they're 25, they got next to no teeth. Well, closer to 28 and 30, really. So there's nothing you can do. We just got to feed them the right feed in the very beginning to keep them from going that way.
Very good. Tamara says, like camera. Thank you so much, Tamara. I appreciate it. Mike is watching. Thanks for the info on mules. 105 in Central Texas. Mr. Johnson's got a question. Got a mule that is bucking when you saddle her and walk her off. I think that the britchin is spooking her. I have used a surcingle and your mule rider's martingale with a britchin and have no problem with her. What do you think?
I think send me a picture of your saddle sitting on your mule, and that'll help me out a lot, because it's obviously not the britchin. If you got a britchin on your surcingle and you're training with the martingale, it's not the breeching. It's most likely the way the saddle is set up on the animal's back, because it could be too far forward, sitting on the scapula, or the cinches are incorrect. So send me a picture and a couple of different pictures, and I'll be happy to help you out.
All right, here. Judy is watching from Ubly, Michigan. Tanya says, my mule likes to pull away. It's cloudy with a possible rain in Penrose, Colorado. What do you do when a mule that likes to pull away, Steve?
Going back to the same thing I've been talking with other people. Start small, folks. If he pulls away, then number one, they've, just like everything else, people have used horse techniques. They've used the wrong halters. And they, oh, I got a rope halter. No, it wasn't adjusted correctly. Oh, I got a rope halter, but here's the problem. The rope halter is not a training tool. The rope halter does not build a foundation. Come along hitch, come along hitch, come along hitch. Start small. They're to look straight. They're not to look to the right or to the left. Your very best training area, folks, is from the corral to the hitching rail. That's your very best training area. You know, it could be 50 feet, it could be 50 yards. But it's a training area. Start small, stand still and quiet. The head is not to look right to the left. So I'm standing there nice and quiet, and the head moves off to the right. I give it a sharp bump straight. Looks off the left, sharp bump straight. I walk a few feet. I don't allow the mule to look to the right or left. Now, here's the other thing too, folks. With that come-along rope, don't hold it close. Always have about 3 foot or so for your leverage. That's leverage, so that it gives them a chance to make a mistake. And when they make a mistake, bump, bump, bump.
Let's see here. Tanya says, I have the come-along hitch. So, I mean, that's what you want. That's what you need. So you've got exactly what you need to get the work done.
Does Tanya have the video that shows you how to use it?
Do you have the problem mule video, Tanya? Let us know. Steve, I got the video pulled up here of, I titled it, How to Tell If a Mule is Trained, because I knew people on YouTube were going to be looking for how to tell if a mule is trained. So I'm going to show this here. Let's bring it up here. We got Steve right here.
You see how well she's standing there? Yeah. Okay? Don't pick up on the lead rope. That hurts me. It bothers me, you see? When they get to, and as long as she stands right there, she's fine.
Yeah.
All right, now.
Turn the volume off here. You can tell. Let's get it forward here. Here we go. All right, so you grab the come-along rope here, and then you start showing, got to make sure it's adjusted there, and then go ahead and describe to me what we're looking at here, Steve.
Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm leading the mule, and I'm teaching it to stand still and wait for me. Now notice I'm saying turn on the forehand. On the hindquarters. Notice that the back end stayed in place and the front end moved over. Now watch me do this again. See how the front end stays in place and it moves and the back end stays in place. That's what it's called, turn on the hindquarters. We'll wait for this to move again here. Too bad we didn't get on the other side. There, now that's turn on the forehand, where the front end stays in place and the back end moves over. Notice where my hand is, right where the stirrup is. That was side passing. So So using my hand and the come along rope, I'm teaching my mule to side pass, turn on the forehand, and turn on the hindquarters. And I'm teaching it to back up. You see that? Everything on the come along hitch. Notice now, this is really important to notice that when I stop my training, the mule stops as well. Now, I'm watching the other people, but normally I wouldn't want the mule to be looking all around. So there's a nice little backup, smooth and easy. Everything down on the ground. Hey, that young guy with that helmet, he looks like somebody I used to know.
All right. Oh. All right. Can you hear me there?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right, let's see here. Lamar's here says 95 degrees, Price, Utah. Steve, what is your thoughts about power floating mule's teeth? A month ago, I had the vet float my youngest mule's teeth. Week later, she started to get edema on her belly. Vet checked her, and her heart was murmuring. Had to put her down on the first. I'll never do power floating again. What is power floating, and what are your thoughts, Steve?
Power floating is they're balancing the teeth, but they're using a machine to do it. So, and they're balancing the teeth correctly. I've never heard of power floating hurting a mule so bad that you had to put him down. I'd like to hear more about that. Maybe I can have him call me and tell me more about that. I've seen plenty of horses and mules and donkeys power floated with ease and not be any problem. So I'd be interested to see what's going on there.
Power float was my nickname in high school. That's what they called me, the power float. Hey, folks, every Wednesday we get together. If you're just joining us right now, we're so glad that you're here with us on this Wednesday, the 3rd. Every week we get together, talk mules and donkeys, and this week's no exception. There's really 3 things that we ask, and folks who have been here with us for the last several years, they know what those are, but I'm going to let you in on them. First thing is that you share your name, where you're watching from, and what the weather's like. We sure would like to say hi to you. Use your name, not just say hi to the people randomly out there, but use your name, acknowledge that you're here, and thank you personally for spending some time with us. So your name, where you're watching from, what the weather's like. The second thing is that you ask any and every mule or donkey question that you got, because if you're thinking it, someone else is thinking it, and chances are they're not watching right now. So they're going to watch the replay. And if you don't ask it, they're not going to get the answer they need. So ask that question and we'll get you an answer so you can get results. The third thing is that you share the broadcast. On YouTube, it's real simple. You click the like button, you subscribe to the channel, and then you click the share button and send a text or an email to a friend or family member who you know would appreciate the show. Or if you're on Facebook, you click the like button or the share button. You can tag a friend or family member in the comments section. With that, let's hop back over to YouTube and Facebook. Let's see here. Linda the Mule Servant and Theo the Sweet One-Eyed Mule. Steve, I think it was Barbara. I cannot remember where Barbara was from, but she sent me a message and she said, I've got a one-eyed mule and I'm wondering, we talked about her a couple weeks ago, I'm wondering what I can do. So I reached out to Linda and I said, hey, Linda, we've got someone messaging us who has a one-eyed mule. Would you be okay if I put her in touch with you? Linda was so gracious, said that would be just fine. And so I put Barbara and Linda in touch with one another. And we've got 2 new mule friends here. Like they just met each other. And I think that's pretty darn cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Good for them.
So I had a question come in from PH over on YouTube, and PH was watching our video on communicating with an ornery mule. And one of the things that he didn't get was why you would be yanking on the come-along rope or the rope halter. He says it seems like you're just trying to get a reaction. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull up the video on YouTube, and I'm going to let you talk through it here real quick. So let me get the video here. All right, so there's the video, and do you remember this? You remember this animal?
Oh, yeah.
What are we looking at here, Steve?
Okay, the mule is right there wanting to pull away from him. There's a hip lock right there. The mule is not wanting to come along when I ask him to. all of a sudden blows up, okay? And when he does, I simply tell him by sharp bump that that's incorrect. Notice I'm just bumping, keeping him straight. Remember, I talked about straightness. There's straightness. There's straightness. There's straightness. When the mule is incorrect, I bump it. My timing, folks, is what you have to have. That was the proper timing. Let's go back and back it up again, Dave, in the very beginning. Okay, before it was dragging my apprentice around. You see that? He was dragging my apprentice around. You see that?
Yeah.
He was dragging my apprentice. Now notice I hip lock it, and that keeps that mule from getting away from me. It's a hip lock. You see that? That mule has gone bonkers. He's out of control. And it happens. Notice I'm bumping. There. See? Now I got the feet quiet. Notice the rope is loose. Notice the rope is loose now. I give him a chance. He wanted to blow up. He wanted to go everywhere. And now it's loose. Now his feet are standing still and quiet. And notice the straightness. Notice the mule is straight. And I bump it and ask him to come over. And I just wanted a small step. And he wanted to throw his head around. So I give him a sharp little bump. I said, nope, I want your feet quiet. Now, I'm going to wait. I want your feet quiet. Notice the lead rope is loose. I'm giving him a chance to make a mistake. Okay? I'm talking to my apprentice. Now I'm asking the mule to come forward. A step at a time, not when he wants to. Notice the hip lock again. All I asked for was a small step, a small step, a small step. Instead, the mule want to blow up. So see, folks, I'm trying to keep it small. Notice I'm rolling my wrist, rolling my wrist, rolling my wrist, rolling my wrist, keeping it small, keeping the mule straight. And then the mule blows up, I go after him. Let's go back again, Dave. Go back to the very beginning again. Okay? The mule is dragging my apprentice around. Now he wants to drag me around. You see that? The mule is blowing up. This ain't me. The mule is blowing up. I'm trying to keep the mule from blowing up. And I'm hip locking right there. Hip locking. Bang. He comes to the end of the rope. His nose pays the price. I'm hip locking. Notice he's trying to get away from me. This isn't me doing this. This is the mule blowing up. Now, you see? The mule finally goes, oh, man, that I wasn't getting nowhere. My thought was flight and fright. Your thought is to stand still. Notice his nose is flaring. Notice he's standing still and quiet, okay? His heart was pounding, but his nose started getting sore. And notice now the rope is loose. Now, a small little bump. I'm just rolling my wrist. I want small little steps. Notice the straightness. Now, I'm holding the rope loose. I'm allowing the mule to make a mistake. If he'll make a mistake, then I'll fix it. Otherwise, I'll let him stand still and quiet. I'll wait till he makes a mistake. Now, roll my wrist. I want a small step. Instead, the mule blows up. So my small step didn't work. Now, I come back and I ask for a small step again. Small little steps. The mule wants to blow up. He's going to get it. Small step, small step, small step, small step. Notice that I give him a chance. The rope is loose, tightens back up again. But every time now he's listening, I've gone from a demanding stage of a hip lock to where I can roll my wrist. Go back again, Dave. I want you all to see the timing that you've got to have. The mule was dragging this little girl. She didn't weigh 90 pounds sopping wet, not even that. And notice that the mule is doing this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go through all this. The mule is blowing up. The mule is blowing up. Boom, boom, boom. This is one of my apprentices at the ranch. The mule is blowing up. The mule wants to go there. But my timing tells that mule that all this time I was rolling my wrist, bumping my wrist while I was hip locking. Notice the mule finally decided my nose is sore. Notice his nose is flaring. He said, my mistake, I was doing what I thought was natural, and that it was flight because of fright. And I showed him that his nose is going to be sore when he makes mistakes. Notice I asked for a small movement. Watch for the small movement. And then he doesn't do it correct. I bump him. So I've gone from major down to rolling my wrist, slow and easy. Folks, this is what a come along rope can do with you. But you see, it's my timing. It's my timing. You have to get your timing. Notice I'm rolling my wrist. Roll. Now the mule wants to blow up. Okay, it didn't do no good. What happened? Wasn't near so bad that time. You see that? A lot easier that time. Now I roll my wrist. My mule says, I want to pay attention. When he's incorrect, I'm going to bump him.
Are you trying right here? Let me rewind it. Are you trying to get him to take a step and stop? Take a step and stop? Or
yes.
Okay. So right here, step. Now stop.
Yes.
Okay.
Step and stop. See, I want to control the feet. And the come along hitch does that. Okay. This mule was a Pasofino mule. It was an idiot. No brains. Okay. They were paying this apprentice. She was going through my apprenticeship program, and they were paying her to train the mule, but we're paying for her training. Now watch now. Now I'm coming out. Notice small steps. Small steps. And when the mule makes a mistake, bump, 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 bump. Notice? Wasn't so bad that time. Now I come back and ask it again. Small step. Small step. I'm rolling my wrist. Rolling my wrist. Rolling my wrist. Notice better. Notice how much better this time? Notice better? There. You see? That's number 2. The mule was literally plowing her through that gate. Plowing her through that gate. But notice the come along hitch 1. But notice 2, folks, it's my timing. Your timing needs to be there. Okay? It's the come along rope is going to be as good as you. Period. If I was that person in that cart, in that pony cart, we got video of a cart blowing up. You know, matter of fact, with this little gal here, and the donkey was blowing up. You know, well, the come along hitch fixed it. Now notice, I'm trying to get him to stand still and quiet. It's all small movements. Now the mule's wanting to kind of there, quiet, good, quiet. See, now small movements. That's a backup. Swinging it right, left for a backup. He wants to blow up. Okay, blow up. Try it again. Back up. Now, try it again. You're going to get him to stand still first. There. There. Notice the length of rope there. Notice that length of rope. That's my leverage. I'm asking right, left. Now down, down, down. Back up, back up. There. Now I got to back up.
All right. You got to do this one more time. So what are we trying to do here? Because I don't get it.
I'm trying to get the mule to back up. See, so I'm going, watch this, right, left, now down. Boom, boom, boom. Now the mule backs up a step or two. Not
How
correct.
is the down action getting him to go back?
That because it puts pressure on the nose, and they want to get away from that pressure.
Okay.
And so they will naturally back up. Now,
okay, got it.
Go back through the gate again. Remember how the mule blew up going through the gate. Nice and quiet, nice and quiet. Good. Now it wants to blow up again. Now he got quiet again. Blow up again, got quiet again. Talk about one with not wanting to get along with you. There you are.
Was it the gate that he was freaking out over, or was he just freaking out over everything?
He just wanted an excuse to not have to work. Okay. He's a Democrat.
Steve.
Okay, watch. He's going to come through the gate closer, quieter this time. Nope, then he blew up. All right, now we'll go back again. Let's go back again. Through the corral, through the gate, close. See, he just doesn't like the idea of going through that gate. It's scary for him. Watch him. Watch him. He's going to blow up again. Bump, bump, bump. He's going to do anything at all but what I want him to do. There, quieter, quieter, quieter. Now I'll come back again. I give him a little pet and say, good job. That's what we're looking for. This mule was just pathetic. I told the owners, I said, you don't need this mule. This mule doesn't want to get along with anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, no joke. There's quite a bit of footage. Was there a specific video that one was from, or did we just chop that up and put it on YouTube?
I guess you chopped it and put it on YouTube because I kind of forgot about that mule.
Yeah. For good reason, I'm sure. Let's see here. Vicky says, hi from Queen Creek. We have a haul the mule. When we haul the mules from the desert to the pines to ride, we will hobble them at our lunch breaks. Question is, I'm wondering if a couple of hours on the mountain grass is too rich, and will the hobbles cause muscle strain with all the hopping? What would you say, Steve?
Well, they should never be hopping. When you hobble a mule's front feet, they should stand still and quiet. They should not be grazing. You put one rein up on the horn, the other one goes on the ground, and they stand still and quiet. 2 hobbles is not for grazing. I know a lot of people do it, but it's incorrect and it puts too much strain on the animal. If you want one to hobble for grazing, you hobble the left front, right rear across a rope. So you put a hobble on the left front, a hobble on the right rear with a rope in the middle, and then they have to scoot. You do it, folks, when you hobble the front feet, that is for standing still and quiet only, not for grazing. And by the way, once I put a saddle on them, I put a come-along hitch on them, there's no more grazing. Folks, they don't need it. It makes you feel good, but they don't need it. They don't need it. They don't need it. Don't do it, okay? Okay, let's go back. Number 1 lesson. 2 feet hobbled, they stand still and quiet. 2 front feet hobbled, stand still and quiet. Left front, right rear, that is grazing, but not with the saddle on. That's when you do the overnight grazing when you're back in the mountains. Folks, once you put a halter on them, no more feed. You wonder why they try to eat when you're going down the trail and you're trying to make them quit stopping eating? That's because you have already allowed it. Don't do it. They don't need to eat. Once you put a halter on them, no more eating.
Let's see. All right, next question. This one comes from Jennifer. Left a comment on one of our last episodes. Thanks for watching, Jennifer, and all of our friends who are watching the replay. Thank you so much. Recently bought a mule who is 4 years old and underweight when I got him. He has 15 one hands, about 900 pounds. I feed him 1 pound of sweet feed a day. Is this the best option for the type of feed and amount of feed? Thank you, Jennifer from Kentucky.
Hi, Jennifer. And everybody, I don't feed any sweet feed at all. Okay, that molasses is no good for the digestive system of a mule. You'll end up with that little donkey with those fat pockets and increasing. Do not feed a sweet feed. If you're going to feed a grain, you feed whole oats only when you're getting ready to ride. Don't make it a daily diet, because that one person that has that crazy mule, that has a lot to do with diet. They do not need all that grain. Just feed a good quality hay, a second or third cutting. Check the hay, make sure it's not full of carbohydrates. And you want to do that, folks. You want to take your hay to an extension center, have them test it, see what's in that hay. But they don't need sweet feed. That's not good for them.
Folks, one thing that I wanted to let you know before we are all done here today, Steve and I are working on a new program. I think we may wind up, I got to talk to Steve, but I think we should call it, Why Does My Mule Do That? And what I want to do, Steve, is I want to get photos and videos from all of our friends in the mule and donkey community, and I want to do these short episodes where we take these photos and videos like we do sometimes here and have a chance for you to do some critique and some training over YouTube, over Facebook. And so I put a link in the comment section, folks, where you can go, just provide your name, email address if you're interested in sending us photos and videos that we can use in this new program. It's there in the comment section. It's the muleranch.com/new-show, and all it asks for is your name and email address, and then I'll reach out. Sure would be really great to hear from you. Would love to see some of your photos. Would love to be able to help you, but more so any folks in the future who wind up encountering some of the things that you're working through. Sure would be really cool. Steve, I've got another question here. Bernetta says, I have a girth that came with your saddle and it seems to rub my mule so bad she gets sores. Any suggestions? Should I get a different girth? And she's talking about cinches, right?
She's talking about a girth. That means she's got the cinch too tight and it's too far forward. Send me a picture of your mule saddled. And remember, folks, I have a video that goes with that saddle. It's inevitable. If you're getting cinch sores or sore someplace, you didn't follow the video. Just watch it, watch it, watch it. Now, usually when you get a cinch sore on that front, you over-tighten that front cinch. Remember my cinches? They have elastic in them. And when you pull it past that padding that I have, you have over-pulled it. Now, look at your front cinch as well. If that front cinch is at an angle, guess what it's going to do? It's going to pull the saddle forward. Again, don't over-tighten the cinches. Folks, usually girth cinches, girth sores are from over-tightening cinches or a mohair cinch or one of those cotton cinches, which are pretty lousy as well. Anyway, send me a picture. Let me help you out.
All right. Linda says, Steve, Debbie's 8-year-old mule was blinded on the near side just a few months ago, whereas Theo was born with a missing eye. Could you talk maybe about the difference between getting a mule used to not being able to see as compared to working with a mule who has always been that way? What would you say, Steve?
Well, it's tough. I mean, just think about how they used to be able to see everything, and now the only thing they can do is hear it. So, it's going to be a lot of time. I've never trained on one I've trained on them that had some moon blindness to them, that had a problem with their eyeball itself, but never completely blind. So I really couldn't answer a lot of questions about that. It's tough training one with 2 eyes, let alone with one. So just slow and careful. Use the come along rope. Do your ground foundation work.
Vicky is watching, says thank you. Bernetta says thank you. I will send a picture. Daryl and Bobby Joe are watching from Dallas, where it's sunny and 107. Lamar says, Steve, I will call you later. So I don't know if that's a threat or a promise, but Lamar's coming in hot right there. Folks, I wanted to make sure that y'all knew that coming up at the beginning of September, Steve is going to be in Montana. He's going to be doing a total of 4 clinics. He's going to be doing, well, let me bring it up here so I get it correct. He's going to be doing, day 1 is going to be basics of communication in the AM, and why does my mule do that in the PM? And then on day 2, he's going to be doing advanced basics of communication and advanced why does my mule do that? And then on Monday, he's also going to be doing a special Q&A. Now, there's 2 different types of tickets for this event. The first type of ticket is the participant. Now, that's where you're able to come with your animal, and Steve works with you and works with your animal directly. Steve will put you to work, and he'll come around and he'll give you direct feedback. He'll show you what you're doing wrong. He'll demonstrate on your animal, and then he'll let you do the actual work, and that's what it is to be a participant. And so if you want to sign up to come for the clinic and be a participant, there's a little special deal that we've got if you want to bring another spectator for you. So you get a discount on a second spectator. Now, if you want to come as a spectator alone, those tickets are available too, and it is really significant to be able to be there as a participant, but what makes Steve's clinics really unique is that the spectators get so much value during these clinics as opposed to maybe what you might experience in an expo when you're in a bleacher way up high at the top, or you're surrounded by, a lot of folks, can't necessarily get your question in. You're going to have an opportunity to ask questions as well. So as Steve's demonstrating with one of the participants and their animal, you'll be able to be right there asking questions. So yeah, it might not be your mule, it might not be your donkey, but you're getting the same education that everybody else is going to be getting. And it's just going to be a really exciting time. Everyone who comes to these clinics winds up leaving with information that helps them get the results that they were coming to learn all about. We've had folks come who got animals that won't do anything, and when they get home a month later, they've been able to make great strides forward and do things that they thought were never going to be possible. So I put a link right now in the comment section. Y'all can go check it out. It's the Montana Mule Clinic. It's in Superior, Montana. It's at the beginning of September. Tickets are still available, and we would love to have you there. There is a cabin, and then there is primitive camping. Now, if you want to drive about 20 miles each day, there is a hotel. And I'm not going to lie, if I was going to be there, I might be one of the hotel folks. I'm one of these glamping types where I just need what I need. And so there is a hotel if you're a softie like me. But if you want to do some of the primitive camping, or if you want to take advantage of the cabin, there's one cabin, and that cabin, it's oil lighting. There's no electricity. This is like the 1900s. It's a real authentic experience. There's a cook tent. There's showers. There is running water, and so you'll have that stuff available to you. But you can go to the website, check it all out. Steve, did I cover everything for Montana?
Yeah. I like the way you camp there. You sleep in a hotel with the window open.
Don't let my.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's the kind of camping I kind of getting used to now.
Yeah. Me and you the like. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You can find pictures on the website. You can find more details. Linda says, Steve and Dave, if we attend as a spectator, Linda, you might be attending as a spectator. Now that'd be fun. Would anyone lend us a mule to try out Steve's techniques? I'm sure, Steve, no?
No, you got the insurance is the problem.
There you go. That's what it is, Linda.
We have to be concerned about the insurance. You cannot touch somebody else's mule there at the clinic. When it comes down to this stuff, it's liability.
It didn't used to be that way. It was about 2014, 2013 where it seemed like a lot of the rules got a lot stricter, and it almost shut down the expo clinic industry altogether.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I mean, insurance is high enough as it is, but it's having someone else train on your mule when you've already got it going your way. You need to stick with the pattern.
Very good. Hey, I got another question here. This is an old saddle that Fred sent in a message, and he said, I just bought one of your older saddles. I believe it's a trail light. It has some numbers stamped on it. What does it mean? So what saddle is this here, Steve? And what does 7162-S mean?
I don't know what that number is. I don't think I ever seen one like that before. Definitely my saddle, an older saddle, that's for sure. Because that is my logo right there, Trail Lite. But I can't see the plate on the back. Oh, and somebody put a Kruper ring on it.
It looks like it, yeah. Hey, Fred, so when you're watching this, go ahead and send us some more pictures with the back. Send us pictures actually all the way around. One of the things that has happened that we've noticed is folks will buy a used saddle and they'll think that it's a Steve Edwards saddle, and it could be, but it might be that it used to be a Steve Edwards saddle, and then someone made some changes, and all of a sudden it's no longer identifying as a Steve Edwards saddle. It's identifying as something else out there. So send us some pictures all the way around, and we'll make sure that the saddle that you've got, if it was modified, we get it restored as best we can back to the original look. Let's see here. I got a message just come in from Jerry from Fort Benton, Montana. I will be signing up for the participant part of your mule clinic. I have a mule that pulls back with the come-along rope just like the white mule in your video. I was going to work with him, but if you would like me to wait until the clinic, I will. He is not crazy, just doesn't like the come-along rope. See you in September. How cool. We're going to have Jerry there, Steve.
All right, Jerry, looking forward to seeing you there. if you want to work with him, Jerry, you go right ahead, and do things. Not a big deal. We can fix just about anything that goes wrong, so don't worry about it. Just watch the videos, folks. It's really important. It's one thing, Dave, people just buy just the come-along rope or the come-along rope and a halter. The video shows you steps that you got to have, and it's really step by step. But always start small, folks. Always start small, and you'll work your way to big.
Yeah, I'll put this link in the comment section here. This is the link to the Ground Foundation starting kit, ground training. Get this. Here's the deal. We'll talk about tack. We'll talk about saddles. We'll talk about videos, all this sort of stuff, and that's all well and good. We're not here to sell. Of course, we believe that the products that we have, if you've got a problem, we'll recommend a product, and you can make a decision if you want to go that route. There is only one thing that we strongly say everybody needs to get, and that's the Ground Foundation starting kit. You get an adjustable rope halter. You won't need that very much, but when you do need it, it will be there, and it'll be exactly what you want over a poorly adjusted halter or a nylon halter. You have it when you need it. The big tools that you're going to get, it's going to be the Problem Mule building a new foundation video, and you've got a video here with a trainer who no experience, right, Steve?
No, he's just a working cowboy.
There you go. And so Steve goes from 0 to 100, showing how to do all the foundation work. And what do you need to get that foundation work done? Well, you need the come-along rope so you can use the come-along hitch. And so that kit comes with 3 things: the halter, the video, and the come-along rope. And every time we ship one of those, we're shipping hope. It's not a rope. It's not a video. It is hope that you can actually get some progress made with your animal after weeks or months or even years of feeling like it's just not worth it. The come-along rope is it's your lifeline. It is the thing that puts you in direct communication with the animal, and so many folks have found so much encouragement putting that rope to work. We would love for you to have that. We encourage you to get it. Don't just buy the rope, though. Get the video, too. Steve, it's 4:03. Anything else you want to say before we're done here today?
No, we're done, partner. I'm going to go work on my 49.
Work on the 49, celebrate that birthday as you turn 37. Folks, thanks for hanging out. So glad to have you here. A couple reminders. Get signed up for the Montana Clinic. That is in the comments section. Reminder number 2, we would love for you to send us some mule photos and mule or donkey videos. The link is in that comment section as well. And then finally, Steve will be in Tennessee in the end of September, beginning of October. You can find information on the website, muleranch.com. Thank you, everyone. Take care. We'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye-bye.